Hey there, cynical one. The music ain't too loud this time, is it? Yeah, so I gotta address some of these truck drivers out here right quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I figured I had the volume adjusted properly, so I was just double checking, but appreciate it. All right, so a few things that truckers need to start doing. Number one is gotta stop the tailgating. Gotta stop tailgating, especially cars, because with a car you can see that another car is in front of them, and you can only go as fast as the car in front of you. So, what's the point in you tailgating that car when you can clearly see up over the car and see what's in front of the car? You know, just don't make no sense. In other words, you driving aggressively behind that car, and as if you can't see the car in front of him or her is driving too slow, then you just being a asshole at that point. I mean, so you just gonna try to push both of them out the way? I mean, that's shit. It's totally uncalled for. Now a truck, you can. Now a truck is a little different, but you really ain't supposed to be tailgating a truck either. But with a truck, you can't see what's in front of it due to its height and its size. But a car, you can pretty much tower over it. Now this isn't to say that it's cool to tailgate trucks, because there's a thing called a safe following distance, and if the truck you're tailgating attempts to come to an abrupt stop but can't due to its weight and then jackknife, then guess what? You're gonna jackknife too and crash into that truck. And that's how we have all these 20 and 30 vehicle pileups on the interstate during inclement weather, or when it's raining, or it's foggy outside. That's how stuff like this happens. So y'all need to just, ease up off that gas pedal to keep a safe following distance. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it, especially the cars, because you don't know what's in it. You don't know who in that car. You don't know if that car is full of women and children. You know what I'm saying? And the end results of tailgating them, which are loaded with such, could be a double whammy if a crash were to occur. So by keeping a safe stopping distance, that would avoid that risk altogether. Because it take a tractor trailer, fully loaded tractor trailer, about 200 yards. Yeah, 200 yards to come to a complete stop. And that's basically the length of 2 football fields. So gotta keep a safe following distance out there. Quit tailgating folk like you ain't got no sense. I see it's a lot out there. And yeah. And the second thing is, stop deciding to put the pillar to the metal when you see somebody trying to pass you. Like when you in the right hand lane, and then you doing 55 or 60 miles an hour, then all of a sudden you see me trying to pass you in the left lane. Now all of a sudden you want to drive. Now you want to drive. Now you want to hit the gas, and now I can't pass you. You know what I'm saying? So now me or whoever trying to pass you in the left lane looking crazy because because a lot of these trucks got governors on them. They can only go like meaning they can only go like 65, 68 miles an hour. So that's why a lot of sometimes trucks be stuck in the left lane and they be holding up traffic in the left lane. They might have a line of cars behind them. And that's all because this truck driver that decided to wake up, you know what I'm saying, and hit his gas pedal. He going the same speed as the guy in the left lane. So I know a lot of people in cars be like, what is they doing? Why is they holding up the road? But in reality, that's what's going on. Another truck driver, cars do this too, but you would expect a truck driver to know better. They decide to wake up and, oh, he's trying to pass me. Let me speed up, And that truck in the left lane probably can't go no faster than 67, 68 miles an hour, So, you gotta stop doing it. Gotta stop doing it, truckers. Y'all gotta do better with it. And another thing y'all gotta quit doing is when y'all on the shoulder of the highway and y'all got your four-way flashes on, you know what I'm saying? And whenever your truck get repaired or you get through doing whatever it is that you got to do, instead of checking your mirrors, you decide to just pull on out there, whether it's traffic coming or not. Mind you, everybody on that highway is in the interstate is either doing 75, 80 miles an hour. And here you is deciding to merge into traffic. Because we already know it take a lot for these trucks to build up speed. It take a lot longer for these trucks to build up speed. But here you are pulling out, and you got to shift gears and all this crap to get the truck moving. You moving at 15, 20 miles an hour. But instead of just creeping slow on the shoulder until traffic go by, you rather just jump on out there while traffic coming, and then people got to slam on their brakes. It's just crazy. It's some crazy folk out here. I wonder about them sometimes. It's like they don't know how to use their mirrors or something. I mean, they don't realize that the mirrors are on their truck for a reason. They don't realize it. The mirrors are supposed to, we all know what mirrors are for, but so many people act like they don't know what the mirrors are for. I guess they think the mirrors are for decoration, I guess. I don't know. But mirrors are your best friend, you know what I'm saying? You check your mirrors before you change lanes, and you check your lanes before you merge into traffic, just so many people think they're there for decoration. So got to do better in that department. Got to do better with that. Because you're going to mess around and cause a major catastrophe out here. And a lot of times when the expressway be backed up due to an accident, that's usually the culprit. Somebody doing something crazy, somebody doing something stupid that could have been totally prevented if they would have just checked their mirrors before pulling out on the highway. I mean, they just pull out as if they're the only people out here on the highway. They think it's just them on the highway. Nobody else, just them. That's how they carry themselves out here. Like it's nobody else out here. Yeah. So and another thing, when y'all be in these truck stops, and this is more so inside the truck stop, and when you in the restroom, and just say when you washing your hands when you're getting ready to leave out, And you can't help. Sometimes when I wash my hands, I can't help but notice people walk right by it, walk right past this sink and go on out the door into the store. You know, they totally bypass the sink. Don't wash their hands at all. And you can't help but notice because them big ass mirrors right there where the sinks are. And too many times I see people walk clean past the sinks on out the door, putting their hand, and then they're gonna put their hands on everything, and they gonna get something to eat. It just nasty. It just don't make no sense. I don't understand what they got against washing their hands. It just don't make no sense. So we gotta start washing our hands, drivers. You know, that's why, you know, we had all these viruses and stuff carrying on, you know, because of people doing the stuff that y'all doing. And yeah. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about things that truck drivers need to be doing or stop doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And while I'm on the subject of truck stops, you know, if you're in one of these truck stops and you can go in there, handle your business, whether it's to use the restroom or get your fuel receipt after you finish topping off your fuel tanks, or if you go in there get some coffee, bottle of water, whatever. If you can do those things and come on up out of that place, all without having to venture into the adjacent fast food restaurant that's inside of a lot of these truck stops, like the Golden Arches and these chicken places that's in the truck stop. If you can go in there and take care of your business, all while steering clear of them fast food joints, you, my friend, are winning in life. You are winning. Why? Because health is wealth. And, you know, without health, you can't drive or work. You can't do neither one of those. You can't earn a paycheck. You can't earn a paycheck. You can't pay your bills. And you can't pay your bills. Well, I don't need to go into detail what happens next. We all know what happens after that. It ain't a good look. It ain't a good feeling. You know, like the OJ say, it ain't no joke when a man is broke. Yeah, y'all know it. But anyway, yeah. So if you can, like again, if you can go in there and just take care of your business and come on up out of there, you doing. You, my friend, have exhibited a tremendous amount of discipline and growth as a truck driver. If you can do that, if you can just do like I just said, because going into them fast food joints, every time you go into a truck stop, I mean, it's okay, like you go just once a week or even twice a week, but every time you go into a truck stop, that's how we get fat out here. That stuff right there, them Golden Arches and Popeyes or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that's in these truck stops. If you can just resist the temptation to go into them fast food spots, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. I mean, you can easily pack. That's how easy it is to pack on pounds, you know. Yeah. That's exactly right. And it's like they got something against washing their hands or something. I don't get it. What's up, Hood Therapy? Shabo. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you winning. You is winning. If you can go in there and resist that temptation, which is that junk food and that fast food, you need to pat yourself on the back and award yourself with a Nobel Peace Prize or some type of prize. Because we all know that temptation is the biggest temptation out here That's what the biggest temptation out here is. Forget this other stuff that people say is the biggest temptation for truck drivers out here. Like like lot lizards and quote unquote commercial company. Now the biggest temptation out here is that food that we don't need to be eating. That's what the biggest temptation is. And it don't take long either. It don't take long for them for you to start packing on them pounds after eating all this stuff. Every time you go into a truck stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing good. Hood, how you doing? With the Here's Johnny avatar. Yeah, so that's what's going on. That's why I wanted to rap about right quick. Just truckers need to stop tailgating out here, because that's how all these pileups happen. And especially stop tailgating cars, especially when you can see it's a car in front of that car that you behind. That car can only go as fast as the car in front of him. So don't be riding his bumper as if he's the one going slow. The car in front of him is going slow. So you gotta stop that. A mini garden at the top of your cave. Yeah, you really can. You probably can. But me, I don't. I used to stay out on the road for like 5, 6, 7 days at a time and come home. But right now I go out and I come back home, go out, come back home, go out, come back. I'm through with that type of trucking for right now. But you absolutely right. You can start get your own stove that you can put in your truck, cook in your own truck. Yeah, so yeah, the possibilities is endless what you can do in a truck, given that you got a sleeping compartment and all that. Yeah, but sometimes I drive a truck that got a sleeper on it, but sometimes I drive out in a day cab, which is those trucks that don't have a sleeper on it. You see them with that window in the back, and it's just they got the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and that's it. Sometimes I drive a truck like that. We do a lot of slip seating, which means you might be in a different truck every time you go out on the run. You're not gonna be in the same truck. So that's the kind of setup I'm in at the moment. So yeah, is this something else that I'm leaving out? Oh yeah. Getting on this internet. Another thing y'all need to stop doing. Stop getting on this internet crying, talking about you working 168 days a week. You're not working 168 hours a week. You're not working 168 hours a week. That's you're not, You're only legally allowed to work 70 hours a week. There's no way that you're working 168 hours a week. Cut that out. And they say that since they're working 168 hours a week, when they break it down, when they break the numbers down, they're actually getting paid minimum wage. But the truth is they're not working 168 hours a week. They're saying that see, like they like to count the time. They like to count the time that they're spending the night in the truck or laying over. They like to count that as if they're still working, just because they're away from home. But if you're an over the road truck driver, meaning you out for a week, 2 weeks, that truck is your new home. So that's your second home. So you're not still working when you go on that federally mandated 10-hour break after you drove for 11 hours. But some truckers think they treat it as if they're still working. Talking about some 168 hours a week. Nah. And I mean, if you working 168 hours a week, no, you the fool, really. Now that's why I was thinking at first, but then I read a little bit more into it and found out that these guys was wanting to include the time that they're spending in the sleeping compartment as if they're working, and that's just wrong. That ain't nah. Can't count that as work. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. What's this? Well, if you're just going to have to, you're just going to have to make sure your girlfriends from city to city have you some salads. Yeah, salads is the best thing to eat out here. Yeah, salads is the best thing to be eating. Yeah, that's true. That's the best. That's the best way to go there. Salads. Provided you got somebody to do that for you. And you're able to get access to wherever she live, or she can come to you at the truck stop. She had to come to you because it's a lot of places where that you can't just go anywhere in the truck. You know, somebody will have to meet you at the truck stop in a car, in a personal vehicle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. No, see, like I was saying earlier. See, the biggest temptation out here ain't lot lizards, or I guess I need to include the opposite sex. Because a lot of us ain't got girlfriends from city to city. I mean, I heard some do, but but 80 to 90% of us don't. It's just the reality. Our schedules be too tight. We ain't got time for all that. Ain't nobody got time for all that. Hood therapy. I mean, Shabo, hood, Ain't nobody got time for all that. I mean, if we're not somewhere picking up a load, we gotta wait for that. It's a lot of waiting involved. It's a lot of sitting and waiting involved in truck. You go somewhere to pick up a load, you might be there for 30 minutes. Sometimes you might be there for an hour waiting. You might even be there for 2 hours. You might be there for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And by the time you finally get loaded, it's rush hour. Now you sitting in traffic. See, when you get your paperwork after you finally got loaded at this warehouse, manufacturing facility, whatever the case may be, you finally get loaded. You be like, yeah, finally got loaded. But then you get to that exit ramp and see all that traffic sitting still. You be like, damn. See, that's what we deal with out here. That's what we deal with. That's what we deal with. And they be like, and even if you do get one in every city, they gonna be like, I thought you was gonna be here at so and so time. I thought you were gonna be, and then you had to be like, well, I wasn't able to make it. Because of situations like I just mentioned, And so that ain't the case at all. Most of us ain't got no girlfriends from city to city. Got deadlines to meet, and yeah. So I just wanted to run that by y'all. I was hoping some Yeah, I'm hoping some truck drivers hear this public service announcement on the 4 things or 5 things. I added one more thing in there that they need to quit doing, you know. So I'm hoping that they keep that in mind. Keep this live stream stored in their memory bank as they begin to pound the pavement, embark on their journey across this country carrying freight, you know. And just be safe out there. Stop that tailgating and stop pulling out off of the shoulder while 75, 80-mile traffic is steady coming. The mirrors are on the truck for a reason. Like I said earlier, use the mirrors. Put the mirrors to use. They're not there for decoration. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Thank y'all for coming. And holler at you later. Make sure you hit the like button. See you on the next one. See you on the next one. Peace.